I need someone who challenges me intellectually, she said before moving in with her professor, so I packed her stuff and put it outside. Now he's under investigation and she's begging for forgiveness. Hey, before we move on to the video, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Thanks. 3 years. That's how long I thought Sarah and I were building something real together. I'm Jake, 26, work as a software developer for a mid-sized tech company. Nothing glamorous, but it pays well and I genuinely enjoy solving problems through code. Sarah was 24, a graduate student in comparative literature, brilliant in that way that made me proud to call her mine. We've been living together for a year in my apartment, and I was honestly planning to propose by Christmas. I should have seen the signs earlier, but love makes you blind to red flags, doesn't it? It started subtle. Sarah began making little comments about my work, my interests, my friends. At first, I thought she was just stressed about her thesis. Do you really need to play those games tonight? She'd say when I'd boot up my PlayStation after a long day. I mean, don't you want to do something more enriching? I'd usually just shrug it off. It helps me decompress. Want to pick a movie instead? But it escalated. She'd roll her eyes when I'd mention work problems or get excited about a new project. When my buddy Mike came over to watch football, she'd make these theatrical sighs and retreat to the bedroom with her books. I just don't understand how you can waste your mind on such trivial things, she said one evening after Mike left. Sports, video games, talking about work drama. Don't you want to engage with ideas that matter? I think different things matter to different people, I replied, trying to keep my voice level. Besides, relaxation matters too. She laughed, but there was no warmth in it. Relaxation. Right. That's one way to put it. The real change started when she began taking Dr. Marcus Hayworth's seminar on postmodern philosophical frameworks and literature. Suddenly, every conversation became about him. Dr. Hayworth said this. Dr. Hayworth thinks that. Dr. Hayworth assigned the most fascinating reading. He's just so brilliant, Jake, she'd gush over dinner. The way he connects Derrida to contemporary feminist theory, it's like watching someone paint with ideas. I tried to be supportive. I really did. I'd ask questions about her coursework, even though half the time I couldn't follow the academic jargon. But my questions seemed to irritate her more than encourage her. You wouldn't understand, became her default response. It's very complex theoretical work. The late nights started in October. Study group sessions that ran until midnight, sometimes later. She'd come home smelling like coffee and that expensive cologne that definitely wasn't worn by any of the other grad students I'd met. How was the study group? I'd ask. Intellectually stimulating, she'd say, already heading for the shower. Dr. Hayworth stayed to guide our discussion. He's so generous with his time. By November, she barely looked at me anymore. When she did, there was this expression I'd never seen before, like she was looking at something that disappointed her. The breaking point came on a Thursday evening in late November. I'd had a great day at work, solved a particularly nasty bug that had been plaguing our team for weeks, and I was excited to share it with her. Stupid me, thinking my girlfriend might care about my small victories. Sarah, you won't believe what happened today. I started as she walked in, looking flushed and carrying a stack of books. Remember that authentication issue I was telling you about? I finally, Jake, stop. She set her books down with a heavy thud. I need to talk to you. Something in her tone made my stomach drop. Okay. What's up? She sat down across from me, but wouldn't meet my eyes. This isn't working anymore. What isn't working? This. Us. This whole domestic situation we've fallen into. She gestured vaguely around the apartment. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I've realized something important about myself. I waited, my heart starting to pound. I need someone who challenges me intellectually, she said, finally looking at me with those eyes that used to light up when I walked in the room. You're a good person, Jake. You really are. But I need depth. I need someone who understands my world, who can engage with the ideas that matter to me. I try to engage, I said quietly. I ask about your work all the time. She shook her head with what looked like pity. Asking isn't the same as understanding. You talk about code and video games and whether the Eagles are going to make the playoffs. I need someone who sees my potential, who makes me think, who pushes me to grow intellectually. The pieces clicked into place with sickening clarity. Dr. Hayworth. She had the decency to look slightly embarrassed. Marcus has been. Yes, we've been connecting on a deeper level. He understands the work I'm trying to do. He sees who I could become. Marcus. I repeated. You're on a first-name basis with your professor? He's not just my professor, Jake. He's a colleague, an intellectual equal, someone who appreciates the life of the mind. She stood up, pacing now. I know this is hard to hear, but I can't keep pretending that what we have is enough anymore. I deserve more than this mediocre existence. Mediocre existence. 3 years of supporting her dreams, paying for groceries when her assistantship didn't cover everything, listening to her stress about deadlines, celebrating her successes, all of it mediocre. I see, I said. When do you need your things? She blinked, clearly expecting more of a fight. That's it. You're not going to try to change my mind. Would it work? A long pause. No. I've already made my decision. Then when do you need your things? I can get them this weekend. Marcus has offered to let me stay at his place while I figure out more permanent arrangements. Of course he had. I hope you understand this isn't about you not being good enough, she added, her voice softer now, maybe realizing how brutal she'd been. It's about me needing more. Needing to grow. I stood up, suddenly exhausted. I understand perfectly. I'll have your stuff ready. That weekend, I packed everything of hers with mechanical precision. Books, clothes, that expensive skincare routine she'd started last month, the coffee mug with the Virginia Woolf quote she'd bought herself. I even included the little things, a hair ties, the chapstick from her nightstand, a bookmark I'd given her for her birthday. I didn't break anything. I didn't throw anything away out of spite. I just packed it all neatly in boxes and set them by the door. She came by on Sunday afternoon, looking nervous. You didn't have to pack everything so thoroughly, she said, surveying the boxes. I figured you'd want all your things. Right. She lifted one box, testing its weight. Jake, I want you to know that what we had was real. I did love you. I outgrew us. I looked at her for a long moment. This woman I'd planned to propose to, who used to steal my hoodies and leave little notes in my lunch bag, who'd cry during commercials with dogs in them. I understand, I said. Good luck with everything, Sarah. She hesitated at the door. Will you be okay? I'll be fine. And you know what? I was. Not immediately, but surprisingly quickly. I threw myself into work, started going to the gym regularly, reconnected with friends I'd neglected. I even started reading again, not postmodern literary theory, just books I actually enjoyed. I didn't stalk her social media. I didn't drive by Dr. Hayworth's house. I didn't ask mutual friends for updates. I just moved on. 6 months later, I was debugging some code on a Tuesday morning when my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Jake? It's Sarah. I almost hung up. Instead, I minimized my code window and leaned back in my chair. Hi, Sarah. I need to talk to you. Something's happened. Her voice was shaky, desperate in a way I'd never heard before. What's wrong? Marcus. Dr. Hayworth. There's been an investigation. The university suspended him. Jake, I made a terrible mistake. I waited. It turns out he's been married this whole time. His wife is filing for divorce now that everything's come out. And it's not just me. There were other students. Other women he was using us, Jake. All of us. I'm sorry to hear that. The department is reviewing all his recommendations, all the opportunities he promised me. My thesis committee might be dissolved. My entire academic future is in jeopardy because I trusted him. I could hear her crying now. And Jake, the worst part is, he threw me under the bus completely. When the investigation started, he claimed I was the one who initiated everything. He said I was obsessed with him, that he was trying to let me down gently. After everything I gave up for him, he's painting me as some delusional student with a crush. That's rough, Sarah. I was so stupid. So incredibly stupid. You were real, Jake. You were honest and kind, and you actually cared about me. And I threw it all away for an illusion. The line went quiet except for her soft crying. I don't know what to say, I said finally. I know I have no right to ask this, but could we maybe get coffee sometime? I just want to talk to you, to apologize properly. I know I hurt you terribly, but I'm hoping maybe we could, Sarah. I don't think that's a good idea. Please, Jake. I know I was horrible to you. I know I said terrible things. But I see clearly now. I understand what I lost. I hope you figure things out, I said. I really do. But I can't help you with this. I hung up. She called back an hour later. I didn't answer. She texted that evening. I know you're angry, but please don't shut me out completely. I need to explain. I didn't respond. The calls and texts continued for 3 weeks. At first, They were apologetic, then pleading, then angry, then desperate again. I've been thinking about us constantly. You were the only person who ever truly loved me. I made one mistake, Jake. One stupid mistake. I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I'm begging you to give me a chance. I'll do anything to make this right. I blocked her number. 2 months later, she showed up at my apartment. I was coming home from the gym when I found her sitting on the steps, looking small and defeated. Hi, Jake. I stopped a few feet away. Sarah, I know you blocked my number. I know you don't want to talk to me, but I couldn't let things in like this. She stood up, and I could see she'd been crying. I've had 3 months to think about what I did to you to us. I've replayed every conversation, every moment where I chose to hurt you instead of love you. Sarah, please, just let me say this. Her voice cracked. I was so caught up in this idea of who I thought I should be that I couldn't see who I actually was. I was cruel to you. I made you feel small and unimportant when you were the best thing in my life. I shifted my gym bag to my other shoulder. I'm glad you've had time to reflect. I love you, Jake. I've always loved you. Even when I was with Marcus, even when I was saying those horrible things, some part of me knew I was making the biggest mistake of my life. She stepped closer. You were patient with me, supportive, kind. You celebrated my successes and helped me through my failures. You loved me when I was difficult and stressed, and probably not easy to live with. And I repaid that by calling your life mediocre. Yes, you did. I know I don't deserve another chance. I know I burned everything down. But I'm praying that maybe there's still something left. Some small part of what we had that we could rebuild. She was full on crying now. I choose you, Jake. I choose you now. I choose the man who packed my things carefully instead of throwing them in the hallway. I choose the man who said good luck instead of go to hell. I choose the man who loved me enough to let me go. I looked at her for a long moment. This broken version of the woman who'd told me I wasn't intellectually stimulating enough, who'd moved in with her professor within a week of our breakup, who'd called our 3 years together a mediocre existence. You didn't throw away something beautiful, Sarah, I said quietly. You revealed that you never understood what it was in the first place. Her face crumpled. Jake, please, I hope you find what you're looking for. I really do. But it's not going to be with me. But I love you. I see now that you were everything I actually needed. I was just too blind and stupid and arrogant to realize it. I pulled out my keys. You had your chance to choose me when it mattered. Now I'm choosing me. I walked past her to my door. Jake, wait. I turned back one last time. The man you're crying over, the one you say you love? He's not the same person who was begging you to stay 8 months ago. That man is gone. You made sure of that. I went inside and locked the door. She knocked for about 10 minutes, calling my name, apologizing through the wood. Then I heard her footsteps walking away. I haven't seen or heard from her since. I'm doing well now. Better than well, actually. I got promoted at work, bought a house, started dating someone new. A kindergarten teacher named Lisa who thinks my job is fascinating and actually listens when I talk about my day. She's never once called my interests trivial or suggested I need to be more intellectually stimulating. Sometimes I wonder if Sarah ever found what she was looking for. But mostly, I don't think about her at all anymore. Funny how that works out. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button.